Good evening and welcome to the Bobby Moore Stand. I am Chris. Hope you're all doing well. And with me is Martin, aka Phil Mitchell. How you doing, Martin? You all right, mate?
Good evening, Chris. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. It's been a mad weekend, isn't it? Crazy weekend.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shock Saturday. I weren't expecting that.
I know. It really, really has been. But good evening to everyone in the chat as well. I hope you're all doing well. Hope you've recovered from the last 24 hours of frantic West Ham United news. Just before we continue, right? So if you do like the Bobby Moore Stand, if you are a regular viewer of the Bobby Moore Stand, please do like the video. And if you are new to the channel as well, please subscribe to the Bobby Moore Stand as well. There's also something new on YouTube, and I don't know if you've realised this at all, Martin, but there's a thing called hype. Where if you scroll across, you can hype the video. It doesn't cost you anything. I think you get a number of hypes you can use per week. But if you can hype the video, it really helps. Doesn't cost a penny, but as always, it really is much appreciated. So yeah, but anyway, moving on. No Gary tonight, I'm afraid. Unfortunately, he's got a bit of a personal, personal situation. I'm about to share it with everyone, but unfortunately, his lad broke his leg today. It's quite a nasty break. So yeah, I hope he's doing well. My best wishes to Adam. It looked like a nasty break. So Gary's not around tonight, but there is plenty to talk about as well. But best wishes, Adam. Hope you speed up your recovery as quickly as you possibly can do.
Yeah. Second that. It's horrible news that this morning, but hope everything's all right, Gary. We'll crack on without you. We're getting used to it anyway because you'll be on Sky permanently soon, won't you?
You see, he said he's given us that excuse, but he could well be on Sunday night, or he could be on Sky at the moment. I've got no idea. But listen, let's kind of crack on, right? So as we know, it's been pretty much a day now since, over a day, probably around about 30 hours since we learned about the departure of Graham Potter. I think we can all agree it was the right thing to do, albeit unexpected, particularly when you consider the timing of this, right? It was really, really bizarre. As we all know, and we discussed yesterday, Potter did take the pre-match press conference, which he was pretty much, you could say, almost like thrown under the bus, right, by the media team there. He didn't get any guidance, any advice whatsoever with regards to the messaging that he was basically trying to put out to the fans, right, to the media. It's pretty poor. It was a little bit embarrassing, and I do feel a bit sorry for Potter in some respects because it was a bit embarrassing, wasn't it? I mean, he was being asked by some of the journos there about what was his favourite meme.
Yeah,
I mean, you couldn't make it up, could you? I mean, do you really think he gives a monkeys about those memes? I mean, he had his job on the line, and they're asking him what his favourite meme is.
It's horrible, isn't it? I mean, apparently he asked for advice on that before he went in and didn't get any help at all. He was obviously going to face them questions. He's just been thrown into the fire. It's another shambolic example of this club, and it never ceases to amaze me. The timing of it, you got all these stories about him turning up to do training and then being told he's not the manager anymore, and then the players waiting about in the cafeteria wondering what's going on, and then training was delayed apparently. And then someone had to come out and talk to the players and saying there's another coach coming, but they didn't tell him it was Nuno. I mean, obviously we wasn't there and don't know exactly what happened, but the stories don't sound good, do they? And I wouldn't be surprised if they're true.
Yeah, and I don't think it would be that far from the truth in terms of what's been kind of put out there by the media because, no one knew about it. I mean, it came like a bolt out of the blue, didn't it, in terms of the timing of this? The fact that he was announced as being sacked literally after, almost 24 hours after a press conference in which he's preparing a team to play against Everton on Monday. For that to happen, I've not seen that happen with West Ham before. Not so soon leading up to a new game,
No.
in terms of the next fixture. I've never seen that before, mate. It's absolutely bizarre. And I think you're right in what you said. The fact that he turned up to training as well. I think he went to say some goodbyes and he was kind of in and out of the building. Didn't know if he was training, he didn't know if he was coming or going, did he really? It was just really, really bizarre.
Didn't they do this with Lopetegui as well? He thought he was sacked and then he ended up taking another day's training.
But not so soon leading up to a game, though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not so soon leading up to a game. But look, I mean, unsurprisingly, as we all kind of knew, Nuno was basically installed as the new West Ham United manager. That was of no real surprise to me. I'm sure it wasn't to you or to anyone else watching this now. We saw the pictures of him, in Sullivan and Boys. It's just pretty much around the corner from Sullivan's gaff. Really, really bizarre. Really poorly managed and handled, actually. But it is what it is, right? So Nuno is now officially the new manager of West Ham United. He's had one training session so far. I'm sure he knows and done a bit of homework in terms of what squad he has at his disposal as well. So it will be very interesting to see what happens at the Everton game, right? But before we address Nuno, I want to cover a few things today, right? And I think in particular, let's talk about the board, Martin, right? Now, I know that there are a lot of fans, and I get it, right, that aren't overly excited by the appointment of Nuno. I'm going to hold my hand up and say I'm probably one of them, right? I definitely am one of them. But what we've got to kind of remember here is that whatever you think about Nuno, we were never, ever going to appoint some kind of marquee manager. We were never going to do that. Not under this board, not under this regime. And this just further highlights the incompetence of Sullivan and Brady. Okay. It was never, ever going to happen. I don't know how you feel about that, but it was never going to happen. You could look at managers like, I don't know, like Silva, like Glasner. We were never going to basically buy out a manager from his current club. Never going to happen, not under Sullivan and Brady. So when you look at the options that we had, and I don't want to say best of a bad bunch, because I think that's doing a bit of a disservice to Nuno to some extent. He probably is the best of the bunch that we had available to West Ham United. Now, one thing I will point out, is that Nuno is not a symptom of this board. You know, Nuno is the symptom, basically. He is the symptom of this board and not the actual cause of what's going on at West Ham. So for us as West Ham fans, we have to get fully behind Nuno, right? That is the most important thing right now, whether you wanted him or whether you didn't want him. We all know and we want him to do well, but firmly the focus is all on the board still. It has to be, right? That cannot diminish in any way, shape or form, because for me, this just stinks of Brady and Sullivan all over again, getting a manager like this. And the way we've done it, it really does. What do you think about it, all mine?
Well, that's the most important thing. This doesn't change the protest one bit. This can have no effect on the protest. Like we always said, the results don't change it. A new manager doesn't change it. It's a short-sighted fix. I look at Forest. I think he was unfortunately sacked there. I don't think he done a bad job. I don't think anyone can say he done a bad job, but he's obviously fallen out with the owner. So we might just have stumbled upon something good. It might work out, but he doesn't tend to last. I mean, he stayed quite a long time at Wolves, didn't he?
I think he done a good job at Wolves. I think when he went to Spurs, well, I mean, look, I think you mentioned to me earlier on, didn't he get 8 wins? Was it 8 wins out of how many games that he was managing?
17
Spurs?
games, yeah, 17, well, I think.
8 wins out of 17 matches. I'm not being funny. I'd take that any day of the week. I mean, Christ almighty, look how many wins we've had in the course of this year so far. I mean, it's just disastrous, right? The last home when we had was against Leicester City back in February. Yeah, you'd take it, wouldn't you? You would take it, right? So I think he did a good job at Spurs, a relatively good job at Spurs, shall I say? I think their expectations are probably a bit higher than ours are right now. That goes without saying. And when you look at the Forest job, well, look, he came in, replaced Steve Cooper. Yes, he kind of marginally saved them, didn't he, from relegation? Marginally.
Yeah.
And they brought in a shit ton of players. They brought in a shit ton of players that following season, which is not easy when you've got a squad that big. But to get them into Europe, I think was actually quite a phenomenal achievement, in my opinion. I'm not saying he's the saviour. I'm not saying he's a great manager. What I'm saying is you can't dismiss the fact that he did do a pretty good job at Forest. I think it fell off a little bit towards the tail end of last season because they were right up there, weren't they? Champions League spots, and they dropped down a bit. But I think that was always going to happen. You know, it's a bit like what's happened to us before when we've been in those kind of Champions League spots, you know, when you get to November, December, and then we slip. I think he's got a bit of he had a bit of a tough hand that was dealt to him, right? With that man, with the owner of Nottingham Forest as well. He's a he's a bit of a loose cannon. He's a bit of a loose cannon, isn't he? So it'll be interesting to see what the dynamic is going to be like with him and Sullivan, and what that kind of control of power is going to look like as well. Because I'm hoping that it's not going to end disastrously, but it does concern me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I don't know how you feel about that dynamic with Sullivan and Sullivan and Nuno, but
I do hope that Sullivan's coming to the end of his reign. Like that is, it's strange that he just signed that 3-year contract and no sort of, you know, we normally say, oh, let's give it till the end of the season and have a break. This is a straight 3-year contract, I understand. So, and quick. That's unusual for Sullivan. So I wonder if his mind's on other things. Hopefully it is. Like, obviously things we can't talk about, but there is other things at play here, and hopefully a change in the board is coming. But regards to Nuno, it's quite similar to Forest. When you look at what Moyes done with us, it's a similar thing. We just survived relegation when he took over. And then suddenly we counter-attack teams because teams come onto you because you're like a relegation team. Yeah. And that works. For the first season, that works because you keep catching, especially the big teams. We beat loads of big teams, didn't we, in that first Moyes season?
I think we did. My only, I don't want to say a concern here, because I think that we've got a decent enough squad to stay up, just about. Okay, we've got a few class players in our team. I want to say world-class players. We've got a few class players, but we've got the likes of Bowen, we've got Paquetá, right? People like that can make a difference. For me, what kind of concerns me a little bit, particularly when you consider the style of play that Nuno typically adopts, and he has used at Nottingham Forest, is that he always had pace. I mean, he pretty much had pace in abundance coming from the flanks. That's not necessarily something we've got, and also pace up front as well. And I'm talking about Chris Wood, right? But he had pace in that team. And if you look at our squad, and if you look at our first 11, where is the pace coming from? Somerville, arguably, would probably be one of our fastest players. I'd say Diouf as well. And aside from that, who else? I mean, Bowen I wouldn't say Bowen is rapid. He's got a decent turn of pace, but he's not rapid, is he, at all? And then aside from him, you've got people like Luis Guillermo, who's on the fringes of the first team, right? So there's not a huge amount of pace. What we do have is we've got 2 old and aging strikers up front that do not have pace at all. So in terms of trying to play the Nuno style of play, in terms of essentially kind of a low block, trying to hit teams on the counter-attack, do we have the players at our disposal and, you know, at his disposal that can actually play that type of football?
We just about have it, but I think we say all the time, don't we? Imagine Bowen getting injured, or Somerville and the striker.
Yeah.
We definitely haven't got it then. The more worrying for me is the defence, because the way that counter-attacking works is winning the ball back. You normally win it back off corners or fouled attacks from the other team. And I look at our defence, and we've got no aerial presence. We haven't got a Nuno defence. I know he's got Kilman in there that he knows well, but I do look at that defence and worry. There's a lot of work to be done there, just on defending corners for a start.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for sure. And you know what? On that note, let's take a look and let's talk a little bit about Nuno's style of play here as well. Okay, and I'm going to kind of read through this with you, and I think a lot of people might know some of this stuff already, but yeah, I'm keen to kind of gather your thoughts, and also from everyone in the chat as well, right? So basically, his style of play is defined by tactical discipline, right? We all know that, right? Defensive solidity and rapid counter-attacking transition. So this is exactly what he done at Nottingham Forest. In terms of the formation that he typically plays, it's usually a 4-2-3-1. So something that we've obviously started doing quite recently. But he's also got the flexibility to shift that 4-2-3-1 into a back 3 as well, particularly during the build-up phases of his attacks. Okay. Defensively, his teams are always pretty compact, very well organised, always got a good structure. And I would say, you know, pretty good when it comes to the high press as well. They're very well organised in that respect. The whole counter-attacking philosophy as well, right? And again, I've mentioned this before, the players that he had at Nottingham Forest, he did have fast wingers there. So very quick on the transition. And this sounds really familiar. It sounds really familiar, doesn't it? It sounds like we're going back about 3 or 4 years ago here, right? But Nuno emphasises swift movement from defence to attack, often exploiting pacey wingers and forwards to catch teams off guard. Direct play, his teams bypass midfield congestion with vertical passes aiming to reach the final third in seconds. Now, what does that sound like to you, Martin?
Well, we know what it sounds like. I'm sick of saying his name, but it's back to the Moyes era, isn't it? Well, which was successful at points. I know there was some horrific moments in it, especially near the end. I mean, I think everyone knew the writing was on the wall and he was going. But when we was playing well and counter-attacking well, it was good to watch. I mean, but have we got a team as good as what we had then? I don't know. It'd be interesting to see them together. We definitely haven't got the defence like Zuma, for example, and Dawson. Well, it does worry me a little bit, this defence thing, because we end
Yeah.
up just playing like a low block all the time, trying to defend and conceding goals.
Well,
So,
it will be very interesting to see what his lineup is going to look like on Monday and tomorrow. In fact, I don't think that's we should take too much into account on his first lineup because he's only been West Ham manager for 24, 48 hours by this point. But I am intrigued to see what he does because, I mean, from a defensive point of view, there aren't a huge amount of options, are there, right, in terms of making change, particularly in the centre-back options. You've got Todibo. You could possibly draft him back in, but apparently, and I don't know if you saw the news on this as well, that he had a bit of a bust-up with Graham Potter. He sounds like he's got a bit of a disciplinary kind of issue as well, not turning up for training on time. I think that was kind of put out in the press today. Again, I don't know whether that's gossip or not, but if you go back to our defence, what other options do you have apart from Dinos and also Kilman? You kind of don't. So that is naturally a concern for me. Aaron Wan-Bissaka's an interesting one.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on him? Because apparently he's got a stomach issue. I don't know what that means, if he's got the two bob bits or what it is, right? But he's not been around now for 2 games, has he? So they said he's not around for the game tomorrow. He wasn't around for the previous game either. What's your thoughts on this? Because I find it a bit odd.
Yeah, I think something's happened. I think the last time we really saw him was a Chelsea game, wasn't it? And he was bad in that. Have we seen him since that? He's been on the bench since then, but I don't think he's played, has he? He might have come on.
No, because Kyle Walker-Peters took his spot. And since then, he was on the bench, I think, for the next game. And after that, he's disappeared, which I find a little bit odd.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if he's miraculously all right for Monday. He'd probably be on the bench, I think something's probably happened there. I have asked a few questions of people I know that might have the answers, but they're not willing to talk to me at the moment for some reason.
Oh, really? Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope it's nothing to do with you being on here, mate.
I think it's just the current climate of the club. But
yeah. But what do you think, though? I mean, bearing in mind Nuno's style of play, yes, it does sound very similar to David Moyes. Okay, it does. But let me just go back to my point again about the board. Okay. I think right now the most important thing is we accumulate points. I don't care, right? I'm going to put it out there. I do not care about the style of football that we play this season. Honestly, it's not even on my agenda right now. The only thing that I want us to do is to accumulate points and stay in the Premier League. Okay, so this is a short-term thing for me. I can't be looking at style of play. I can't be thinking about being excited. Yes, of course I want those things, but I'm also a realist. I'm also a realist in knowing that this is all down to Sullivan and Brady. The fact that we're in this situation in the first place, it's all down to Sullivan and Brady that we basically are not going after marquee managers. We know this, right? So we have to accept it for what it is. People can say we shouldn't accept it. No, we shouldn't have to accept it. And this is why we're putting this amount of intensity and pressure on the board, because we want them out. But we've got what, we've basically got to deal with what we've got here, right? We've got to play with what we've got. How do you feel? How do you feel about this situation as well, mate? I mean, with regards to Nuno, the board, what's your thoughts around this?
Well, I just see them as separate things. I know he's a byproduct of the bad ownership, but I do think of it now as completely separate, what's happening on the football pitch and the board. And that, like when we was at the protests, we didn't even think about the game, did we? Until suddenly we saw the lineups. That's the sort of mentality I'm in at the moment. It's 2 separate battles. I'm wanting 3 points for West Ham and wanting the ball out is completely 2 separate things. That's why we can't let this distract us at all. I mean, we thought we was going to do this manager thing for the Brentford game, didn't we? We thought that was all going to be lined up for that. And I think it probably was, but there's obviously something must have happened to spark that quick reaction. I don't know if another club maybe contacted him or something and they just panicked. Because all of a sudden, this just sort of come out of nowhere, and it's terrible timing, isn't it? The organisation and the staff leaving and everything just before an away game.
But it's all down to the board, mate. It's all down to the board, and this is the reason why I can't get too irate or upset about a new manager coming in. He's got my full backing. It's as simple as he's got my full backing.
100%.
I want him to do well. I'm not going to start slagging him off in terms of his style of play, because if that style of play means that we accumulate points, then I'm going to be a happy West Ham fan right now. You look at how many points we've accumulated this season. You look at how many points we've basically accumulated since the turn of the year. It's pathetic. I mean, he's up there with the worst. So he's got one hell of a job. So we've got to kind of prioritize things here right now. You can start calling out for, I want to get a certain style of football being played. Look at what we've been used to for the last 12 months. Look at what we've been used to under Lopetegui, under Potter. What for us is the priority right now? Because you see where we are in the table right now. Aston Villa, they won today, didn't they? We're in grey fucking danger here. And if you look at the fixtures that are coming up, it's not going to get any easier either. So all that we can do as West Ham fans is get behind Nuno and fucking push that ball out. Because we know that is the main objective here. Get behind Nuno, get the ball out. And I'm fully on board with that right now because, frankly speaking, I'm sick to the teeth of them. I really am. I'm not happy with how any of this has been managed. I'm not happy how anything has happened since post-Moyes. It's been an absolute disaster. And that is all on the board. Everything that's been going on at this football club, it just stinks of incompetence. It really, really does. And I think, actually, what happened yesterday, for me, has further enhanced my need to say, fuck off, get the hell out of our football club. It really has.
Yeah, if he comes in and starts winning games, that just gives us strength as well, because they'll be expecting the protests to die down, but they won't. You might get a few more sort of fickle people just ignoring the protests, but I think the core of us know that this is a separate battle. But you can't think negatively about Nuno. Like you said, it's horrible to say it's best of a bad bunch, but we know it's going to have to be put someone out of a job. It's never going to get the option.
It's the best of the realistic options that we knew that we would go after, because we knew that we were never going to buy someone out. We knew that was going to always going to be the case, right? So was it going to be Bilic? Was it going to be Dyche? Was it going to be Nuno? I think everyone unanimous, the consensus would say we'd rather have Nuno. Come on, there's no other option, is there?
No, and I tell you now, like David Moyes and what's the next game? Arsenal, is it? Arteta, they'll both be they won't be dreading it, but they would have much rather have played against the Potter side than this new Nuno one.
I'll tell you what, just quickly,
suddenly a different game for Moyes, isn't it?
Well, let's look at these fixtures that we've got coming up here, right? Because it certainly doesn't. It certainly doesn't get easy, right? So we've got Everton away tomorrow. That's going to be a tough game for us, and we'll come on to that game in just a moment. Then we've got Arsenal away. Again, realistically, are we expecting to get anything out of that? I mean, I know we did last season, but I think if you're a betting man, you're not going to be betting on West Ham to get anything out of that game. I think all we can hope for, and I'm not talking about the Everton game here tomorrow, because I think that we've got a chance of getting something out of that game. I feel quietly confident. I do. Hopefully a new manager bounce. Yeah. I'm feeling relatively confident. We've then got Arsenal, as I said. That's going to be tough. Brentford at home, that's going to be a very, very interesting one, because as we know, that's when the boycott happens. Again, I mean, Brentford are a decent team. They are. I mean, there are no bad teams in the Premier League this season. You only need to look at the league table. I mean, it's incredible when you look at the likes of Crystal Palace and Sunderland right up at the top end of the table. Who the hell would have called that? I mean, particularly with Sunderland, right? Leeds United have been picking up points, and then you've got Newcastle, Burnley. Burnley got tonked, didn't they, yesterday? But look, there's some tough games coming up. But I'd like to think there are some winnable games as well. I'm hoping that the new manager bounce happens tomorrow and we can get something out of the Everton game.
Yeah, see, looking at them fixtures now, I was thinking in my mind, Nuno's got to get to January and then we can possibly sign a striker or something. There's a lot of games before then.
There's a ton of... Well,
my God.
And you know what? You know what, mate? The way you can look at this as well. So you've got what? You've got 3 in October. Okay, 4 if you include the Everton game. Then you've got another 4. That's 8. And you've got, Christ almighty, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 games. I mean, that period, so between now and the end of December, the beginning of January, that is actually season defining. That is a season-defining moment for West Ham. So we need to get behind that manager. We have to get behind the manager, because otherwise we could find ourselves in an absolutely dire situation going into Jan.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bad year to be crap in this league. I'll tell you that for now. We're going to do well to get out of this. We've got to get every point we can.
And I think, absolutely. And a big thing, I mean, when you look at last season, we had 3 very, very bad teams in the Premier League, right? Very, very bad teams. You look at the newly promoted teams, I think we were never really going to get relegated because there were 3 teams that were superiorly worse than West Ham. I mean, they were significantly worse than West Ham, which is saying something. But this season, it's not easy. You can't say that there are any standout contenders to be relegated. Dare I say it, apart from probably the likes of Wolves and West Ham, as it stands. As it stands right now.
The teams that are in the bottom half of the table are all big players, like Newcastle are in there, Man United. We're going to have to catch these teams up.
I know. Well, look, I think the good thing is, right, if you look at the league table, right, you're talking like 1 or 2 wins, a win and a draw. It can make a significant difference in terms of your league placing. It can do, right? I mean, it really, really can do. Let's have a look at the Everton game very quickly, okay? Well, I say very quickly. I mean, this is a massive game for West Ham. A massive, massive game for West Ham. As you know, I'm going up there tomorrow. I think it's funny because yesterday when Gary and I were talking about this, I was kind of looking forward to it. I feel really nervous about it. I feel really, really nervous about it. But I feel like we've got a chance. I do feel like we've got a chance because if you look at Everton's form at the moment, right, so they're 12th in the league on 7 points, okay? So 4 points above us, basically. Played 5, won 2, lost 2, and drawn 1. If you look at the games that they've played so far this season, first game of the season, they played Leeds United away. I think they lost 1-0. And then since then, right, so they beat Brighton 2-0 at home. I'm not going to talk about the cup games here. Mansfield, it's irrelevant. They beat Wolves away 3-2. They drew against Villa at home 0-0. They lost marginally, and I will say it's marginal. They lost against Liverpool the other week, didn't they? But they actually played pretty well, and I think they could probably say they're kind of hard done by in terms of losing that game. And then they lost to Wolves in the cup last week, which is a team that we know pretty well as well. You know, you look at Everton's team. It's a very well balanced team, mate. I don't know how much you know about Everton, but it's a pretty well balanced team. And as you know, I do a bit of research, and I always look into other teams. I watch other teams play all the time. But I think one of the concerns to me is, right, they've got 2 massive centre halves in Tarkowski and Keane as well, right? Both aerially very, very good. So for me, if I was to try and combat that, we need to get someone up front that is physically strong and also good in the air. Who's that going to be? Fulkrug, Callum Wilson. For me, you've got to stick Fulkrug in for that game.
Yeah, it's got to be Fulkrug. Yeah, he looked all right when he came on against Palace, didn't he? We'll say all right. He looked a bit more of a presence. I mean, we are clutching at straws, but he's a bit more of a physical presence there, I think.
Mate, I think really clutching at straws, to be fair, because I thought Fulkrug was pretty poor in that game. I don't want to really dig him out, but he didn't really add anything. But then you could arguably say that we weren't very good regardless, right? He came on in the second half when we weren't, and when collectively as a team we weren't playing particularly well. But then, again, going back to the Everton team, right? So I talk about having a very well-balanced team. I'm looking at their lineup now, right? So you've got Tarkowski and Keane, centre-halves. As I say, physically very, very good. Aerially dominant as well. Then you've got Idrissa Gueye in midfield, who, for me, he is an absolute beast. You know, he's really come in possession. He's a good passer of the ball, but, you know, he's also a brilliant, brilliant tackler. He's excellent at breaking up play, isn't he? Yeah. Idrissa Gueye. He's a bit of a beast. Now, I'm hoping that we don't do something stupid and play someone like James Ward-Prowse. I'm really hoping that we don't, because that would be, for me, suicide. Playing James Ward-Prowse against the likes of Idrissa Gueye, but also James Garner in midfield as well. I just do not see that one working.
Yeah, I mean, this is a real clash of styles, isn't it? It's 2 very similar systems. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 0-0. It'd be a long way for you to go and watch that, but at least you'll come back with a point.
Mate, honestly, Martin, I would take a point now. I'd take a 0-0 right now. I really, really would. I think the most important thing for me is effort, performance, and a clean sheet. I mean, we need to get a clean sheet so desperately, but it's not going to be easy. You know, it's not going to be easy against Everton because we know they're very good on the counter-attack. And again, if I look at some of their players as well, Dewsbury Hall, a player that we should have signed, that we didn't sign. You know, he's a proper box-to-box midfielder. He can cause some damage, you know, very good close control. He's someone that can, you know, basically thread some very creative passes into Beto or to any other players going in, you know, attacking the final thirds. And then you've got the likes of Jack Grealish. Again, another player that I was actually hoping that we could sign. He's been on fire, but he's got quite a few assists, hasn't he, for Everton this season?
Yeah, he's just been a right live wire. He's really enjoying playing again. It's worrying, really.
Mm.
I mean, if the two managers, it's a similar system, and I know if they was to pick what team they wanted to manage, it would be the Everton one because it's designed for it, and it's designed for that sort of counter-attacking football. We're not at all. I mean, this is a team of 3, 4 maybe managers now.
So you're right in what you're saying. I mean, it's two teams playing very similar style. I mean, similar types of formations, because I expect that Nuno, I mean, he typically plays a 4-2-3-1. David Moyes has been playing a 4-2-3-1 as well. So it's similar. But what I would say is that David Moyes' team are obviously a bit more used to playing that system
100%.
as well. They've also got the players that can play that system as well. It's not that we don't have the players. I just don't think that we've been playing the right players in that system so far, which is something that I want Nuno to address in his first game. But then I suppose the thing that does concern me a little bit is when you look at the likes of Jack Grealish coming in off the left, you look at Ndiaye as well, who's got abundance of pace. He could be a bit of a problem for us as well. But the biggest worry for me, in truth, is their lad up front, Beto. He is, because he's an absolute beast. He's a handful. He's physically fucking. I mean, he's a big lad, and he's very, very good in the air. And you know what we're like on set pieces right now. We are absolutely atrocious. So I think, Everton, and unsurprisingly, all David Moyes teams are typically very, very good aerially, aren't they? You can see that with the team they've got.
Yeah, and really well drilled. He doesn't like them playing out for the back or anything like that. We know exactly what it's like. We know what we're going to be up against.
Yeah,
I keep saying it, but it's that our defence worries the hell out of me. I mean, I don't think Mads Manson plays under Nuno. I think it's very difficult for him to be in that team because you're constantly relying on us recovering the ball from them situations, and he's not got the height.
No, I think I can't see, and maybe this is, I don't know. I can't see Hermansen getting into a Nuno team. I just can't see it happening. Not with this style of football. I mean, bearing in mind, we bought Hermansen. We wanted a ball-playing goalkeeper, right? We've quickly changed our style of play, and we've now drafted back Areola in. So I just cannot see, and I don't see him playing. I just don't see him playing for West Ham unless Areola gets injured or has an absolute stinker or a few stinkers who's completely bang out of form. I can't see how Hermansen gets into this team anymore. Can't. I'm not bothered about that, by the way, either, because I think he's been a disaster signing for us so far. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, Christ, we brought in all them new goalkeeper coaches, Potter, and then we said we signed Hermansen because he's worked with them coaches before. They've all been sacked. Hermansen must be standing there thinking, what have I done?
I mean, honestly, I think it was an absolute waste of money. I really do. 15 million quid excluding add-ons for him that we could have basically used to sign a striker. We could have done that, or we could have invested that money into signing perhaps maybe even a more accomplished midfielder than what we have signed. Now, I don't want to, disrespect Magassa yet because we haven't seen enough of him. But, if you added that 15 million on top of the Magassa fee, we could have maybe got something a little bit better than Magassa, potentially. It's the players that we've not really ever heard of before. I never heard of Magassa before. Don't know about you.
No. Well, I'd heard a few little things, but only when clubs are linked to them and that, and you start looking at clips. But no, I've obviously never seen it. He didn't play much, did he, in France? He was being kept out by someone there.
Yeah, I think he was I think he played about 20 odd games or something like that, but he was a bit of a bit part player, wasn't he, over at Monaco? But what's your expectations anyway? Talking about the Everton game, what are your expectations for this? How do you see this one playing out, Martin?
Yeah, I expect to bounce, and Moyes won't be pleased that this has happened just before the game, this manager change. I think that changes it, and I'm looking forward to it a bit more now as well. I was dreading it, but now I'm actually looking forward to the game. But it's going to be interesting to see. It's very hard to sort of predict what we're going to do until we see. I can't expect him working miracles in one day's training session, but I expect we're set up exactly the same because that's his formation. Hopefully without James Ward-Prowse, because as we know, he didn't get into his Forest side.
Yeah, the James Ward-Prowse thing, it's really got my head scratched. Like, I've really been scratching my head on this one because he, as we all know, he plays every game. It's like he's the first name on the team sheet. And it'll be quite telling to see how much he features under Nuno. And I'm not going to use tomorrow as the example, but moving further forward between now and January, how much James Ward-Prowse plays, because I genuinely do not understand it now. Right? I honestly don't understand it, because, I mean, when you consider that Graham Potter was playing him and it wasn't working, he offers nothing to our team. Okay, he was a weak link in that midfield, particularly if he was playing with Souček. You can't play the both of them together. We've known that many, many times. But the fact that he was featuring so heavily under every manager that's had him makes me wonder, right? And maybe I'm looking too much into this as like almost like a conspiracy theory here. But it makes me wonder, was there something written into this guy's contract here where he has to feature? I know it sounds bizarre, but I can't think of any other reason why the guy plays. I genuinely can't. You know, the fact that he's getting in the team ahead of other players that I think deserve a chance, the likes of Potts, for example, right? Particularly when Potts was featuring so heavily during the pre-season. How is it that this geezer always gets in the team? The only time he didn't get into the team, Martin, was when we loaned him out to Nottingham Forest, right? Yeah. As soon as he comes back to West Ham, he's back in our team again, and he's probably one of the first names on the team sheet. It just doesn't make any sense, does it?
It's a complete myth. I mean, it's the position he plays him in as well. I looked back and sort of watched some of the highlights of the games, because when we first got him, do you remember he played really well at Brighton?
He was good initially. He was good initially. Yeah, I mean, in terms of his assists and everything, yeah.
They played him further forward in like a sort of 10 role where he wasn't sort of holding up that midfield. I've never seen him play a good game in that sort of central midfield. That's not his game at all.
Well, look, if you're an attacking midfielder, if you're, say, a central attacking midfielder with a bit of pace, a bit of guile, a bit of creativity, and you're coming up against James Ward-Prowse, you're probably rubbing your hands, aren't you? I mean, you're probably rubbing your hands because, you know, we play him too deep, right? We do play. I mean, we should be playing him at all, in my opinion, right? But he does play too deep for West Ham, and all he ever does is pass it backwards and sideways. If you get him in a foot race against a pacey player, he's always going to come second. Always going to come second. He is one of the slowest midfielders I've seen play in a West Ham shirt for a long time. I mean, he really is. Yeah. I mean, I'd arguably say, and I mean, I'm not even going to compare him because he's not fit enough to tie Noble's shoelaces, but he's slower than Mark Noble, and Noble was slow, but Noble could play. James Ward-Prowse was good a few years ago, but he is no longer the player that he was at Southampton. For me, championship player at best. Doesn't make any sense why he's in that team. It really doesn't. So I'm just hoping that Nuno mixes it up a little bit and takes him out the equation. I really do.
Yeah, he won't play him. He'll become like a utility player that comes on at the end. There's no way.
Are you confident about that? Are you confident about that, Martin? Because I'm not. I'm still not. I'm still of this kind of weird conspiracy theory that we have to play the guy because it doesn't make any sense to me. Like I said.
Oh, surely not. You say that. I say surely not. But did you read that thing in the Athletic about every time a manager goes from West Ham? Shane Thomas, I think it is, in the Athletic. He always writes these sort of leaky pieces that he couldn't talk about while the manager was still there. And I was reading just before we came on here that Potter has to submit the team sheet to Sullivan first. And I think it was the Man United game, and he sent an email back saying, I don't agree with the selection, sort of thing. Like, why the hell is Sullivan getting involved in that? That just says insane. It all. But
that is insane.
But obviously, I don't know that's true, and it's quite sort of a fresh thing that I've read. But we'll look it up after, or if anyone in the chat's seen it. I think it's in the Athletic today. I know they're behind a paywall on there, so it's a little bit hard to look it up. But
I mean, if that is true, then that is genuinely concerning. I mean, it really, really is. But it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. It really would. But again, more reason to get this balled out, because what owner of a football club should be involved in terms of team selection? It shouldn't happen, should it? Should not happen.
He thinks he's some sort of football expert, and he's not at all, is he? He's got no idea. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, it does make me angry. I can feel myself getting agitated again.
I hear you, mate. Well, look, listen, let's not get angry for a second. I feel like I've been ignoring the chat here, and I think I'm the only one that can see it. So I'm going to have to go through some of the chats as well. So apologies, chat. Looks like Gary's here as well, right? So hello, Gary. There's no way Nuno will pick Hermie. Okay, I'm almost certain as an ex-keeper, he'll be... I didn't know Gary was an ex-keeper.
No.
Tell me he played left back and left midfield.
Nuno Santos was a...
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah. All right, okay, yeah. No, do you know what? Very good point, actually. Very, very good point.
Yeah. He
Yeah, I
was the
think Jay.
goalkeeper for Porto, wasn't he, in the
Yes, yeah,
Champions League squad under Marino. So it comes from good stock.
yeah. Well, yeah. What else we got? I've
Yeah.
got bloody hell. What's West Ham United saying? Yeah, play some of the kids. No JWP, Guido, Fulkrug, or Wilson. Play youngsters instead. Look, I'm with you on that. I don't think Guido is getting back into this team. I mean, he's been non-existent, hasn't he, quite recently? I mean, look,
Yeah,
I think Fulkrug and Wilson, they're going to have to be played because we've only got Callum Marshall as the other option, so we're going to have to play one of them two for sure. But certainly Guido and JWP, I totally agree with you. I don't think they should be featuring. I want to see Potts. Really want to see Potts coming back into that. Well, say coming back into the team, getting into the team would be a start, wouldn't it?
Well, this would be a great time to do it. It's you know, it gives him confidence. The new manager's come in and picked him straight away. That sort of young player needs that, doesn't he? And the crowd will be behind it. You away fans there, it gives us something to really cheer on, like one of our own.
Oh yeah.
It would be a good move.
I'll come on to that in just a minute, actually, because you're bang on, by the way. So 10 men at the back, and no, I love that name. 10 men at the back and no one in the attack. See us sneaking a 2-1 win. I would take that. I would take that straight away. I really would. 2-1 win, honestly, mate. My away record's pretty good at the moment. It actually is. It's not very good in Merseysides, but I'm hoping that will change. I'm hoping it will change. I've actually taken the drastic measure of changing my route and my form of transportation to get to the game tomorrow. I'm getting a coach. I never get coaches to games, right? I usually drive or get a train. Getting a coach tomorrow, I can't be bothered to drive because in my mind, I don't want to be driving back after a Tonkin, right? I really don't, because it gets me in a foul mood and I worry that I'll get a speeding ticket. So I'm getting a coach. I'm getting a coach tomorrow. Yeah, Guido, forgot about him. I don't want a resurrection of Guido, Gal. We can't be getting Guido back into that team. Really can't. Magassa. He did want Magassa, didn't he? Yeah. Nuno did want Magassa. That's interesting. But, you know, what did you make of Magassa's appearance the other day against Palace?
Yeah, I think he's sort of a bit lost, the boy. He's sort of come there. And I do actually wonder, this is another thing. I wonder if we knew Nuno was coming, and that's why Magassa was signed, and that's Potter hasn't been playing him because he didn't really want him.
Oh, I don't know, man. That's proper conspiracy theory there. Yeah. You're talking about going back nearly a month to the point of knowing that we would have signed, we would have had Nuno, but Nuno was still in a job. You might be pushing it slightly. Might be pushing that.
We're not a forward-thinking club, are we?
No, definitely not. No, not like that. We're not. What's Dave Walker saying? If JWP is in tomorrow's first 11, I'll go to my room and cry. I think we all will, mate. I'm going to have my head in my hands in the stand tomorrow if that's the case. I really will do.
That won't happen unless he's sort of half taken over and he says, like, we just keep the team that was going to play. Because Potter must have already picked a team, I should imagine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would think so. I think he would have had that team, that lineup sorted on the Friday. Yeah. I have no doubts about that. But if Nuno sees something that he, you know, unequivocally disagrees with, then I'm hoping he will make some changes. I mean, particularly if he sees that lineup and sees JWP in there and thinks, well, hold up a minute, I've had JWP. I know he offers nothing, so I'm not going to put him in that midfield. I'm really hoping that's the case. Barry's saying he hopes that we'll play Magassa. So too is Iron Disciple. I think there seems to be a lot of people that want us to play Magassa. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, actually. I'm going to share with you what I want my team to be, Martin. I know what you want your team to be like. And this is going back to your point around Potsy as well. So let me just share with you this real quick. Right. Okay. So this is what I would like. I would like to see tomorrow. All right. Let me break this down for you. Obviously, Areola in goal. By default, he goes in goal. There's no question about it. Carl Walker-Peters, well, we know the situation with him. You know, again, he's a shoo-in at right back. We don't have any other options there right now, bearing in mind AWB's got the 2 bob bits, apparently. Centre-back pairing, again, we know that's not going to change. I can't see Tadibo getting in, so it will be Kilman for sure. And Dinos and, of course, El Hadj Magic Diouf playing at left back. That's how I see the back 4/5, if you include the goalkeeper. In midfield, so of course, Fernandes plays. Now, to your point, I am sticking Freddie Potts straight into that team over JWP. I know people are calling out Magassa, and I get it. And to be honest with you, I'd be happy with either or, but I would opt for Freddie Potts. And the reason for that is very much the reasons that you've just said, Martin. You know, he's one of our own. He's been desperate to get a chance in that first team. It's a start. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for this youngster to kind of impress the manager, come in. And I think the fans will be right behind that. We will be, honestly, we'll be right behind Freddie Potts coming in. Reminds me a little bit of when we played Villa under Potter's first game. And I think he played Ollie Scholes, didn't he, at left back, right?
Yeah.
So when you do something like that, when you make a bold move and decision like that, the West Ham fans get right behind it. Now, the reason why I'm opting for Potts over Magassa is because I think Potts is probably a little bit more used to the English game. I know he's not got a great deal of experience in the Premier League, but he has played League One, he's played Championship, and he's been accomplished at both levels. I don't see any reasons why he should be second fiddle to Magassa for this game, in my opinion, particularly when you factor in Magassa's, it might be a little bit harsh, but a bit of a lackluster display against Crystal Palace, right? It was, it was a little bit of a lackluster display. So I'll play Freddie Potts in there, and I think the forward line probably speaks for itself. You know, when you're bearing in mind, obviously, Jared Bowen, he's got to be playing on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side. Right. Somerville on the left. Paqueta in the 10. And I think in terms of playing someone up front, well, I think it's got to be Füllkrug over Wilson. And the reason why I think Füllkrug is because physically, he's more imposing than Wilson. He's better in the air. And I've already kind of pointed out two of my key concerns with Everton is that they've got very, very strong centre halves in Tarkowski and Keane, who are both very good in the air. So that's the reason why I play him, providing, of course, he's fit enough. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be happy with that team. The only difference in my team was Magassa over Potts, but I'd be happy with either of them playing as long as it's not James Ward-Prowse. Definitely go with Füllkrug up front if he's fit enough to play, that is. But there's not many options, is there? I mean, you've got Igor that we haven't mentioned, but I can't see him. He probably plays in Kilman's positions. I can't see him dropping Kilman.
No, I can't see that, and I think that would be the wrong move actually to just stick him into defence for this game. I do. Not that we're defending particularly well at the moment, but I don't know. I mean, I don't really know much about Igor in truth. I don't, but apparently he's not great in the air, so that doesn't bode very well, does it?
No. No, definitely not. No, I think that's probably it's either Potts or Magassa in there, and that's basically going to be the team. I don't think he's going to go too extreme and change too much, but he hasn't really got the options, has he? Let's face it.
He doesn't. He really, really doesn't. Honestly, there aren't really many options, and hence going back to your point as well around all of those games that we've got leading up to the January window.
God,
if we do get a couple of injuries, one or two injuries, that will be almost disastrous for us. Yeah. It really, really will be. So I think, look, for me, clean sheet first and foremost. Clean sheet, performance, hard work, endeavour, playing for the badge. That's all I ask. That is all I ask.
He will like Callum Marshall as well. I know he hasn't got the height and everything, but he presses so well. He's a pest to the defence. He don't stop running. I think Nuno recognise that. That will be used at some point. You've got to have that focal point up front, haven't you? Someone to head them balls in, especially against someone like Everton. I mean, Marshall would be dwarfed in that defence.
I think you're right. And I think also perhaps playing like a Füllkrug or a Wilson for, say, 60, 65 minutes, because I don't think they're fit enough or young enough to be playing a full 90 minutes and be effective for a full 90 minutes. So if you've got someone like a Füllkrug that's going to hopefully wear out their defence, maybe sticking on someone like Callum Marshall with a bit of pace that's going to run into those channels could be an option, as you say. Anyway, moving on to chat. So, Randy, I do think Nuno will go with Ariola, Kilman, Mavropanos, KWP, Diouf, Magassa, Fernandes, Paqueta, Somerville, Bowen. Okay, so basically that's your side, right? That is exactly your side. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's what it'll be. But I'll be pleased to see Potts on that team sheet. But that would delight me. But
yeah, honestly, I'd be buzzing if I see him in that starting lineup. I really would be. I'd be so happy. Really, really happy. I'd like to see just something that we didn't expect, like what Graham Potter again, but like what Graham Potter did against Villa when he played, I don't know, Somerville right wing back, and he was unbelievable. He was almost unplayable in that first half, right? Doing something a little bit different. That would be really nice to see. Yeah, I don't want to see ward-prowse on the bench either, mate, but I think he will be.
He'll be on the bench.
Yeah,
definitely be on the bench. It'd be like a utility player, but it'd be good to have around the squad. Everyone tells me he's great around the team and everything, and everyone likes him, but.
Well, I don't give a shit if everyone likes him. Right, this is what really annoys me. He's great around the team and everyone likes him. Who gives a fuck? Like, if he ain't performing on the pitch, I don't care if he's the most popular guy in the changing room, in the dressing room. I don't care. I don't know what really annoys me. That stuff does. Oh yeah, he's I know. But you ain't delivering on the pitch, mate. Fuck off. You know, if you're not playing off,
he's not going to be on the pitch. But I think that they would never remove him from the squad. That would just be too much unrest. He'll be on the bench. He'll be used. What's this comment?
Hey Martin, it's come from Darren. Hey Martin, how are you, mate? Met you at the pub before the protest.
Oh, you're all right, Darren. Good to meet you, mate.
What else are we saying? What's West Ham United saying? I think play Potts, Marshall, Scholes, and the youth. Wow. Scholes and the youth can both play as centre back. Well, you'd play all of those, would you? Christ, that's a bit of a that's a bit ambitious, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gary Killington, there he is. Hey. I want to know if that little prick has been picking the team. I need to know. We all need to know. We all fucking need to know that. We all need to know that. Jesus Christ. Randy, I'd like Potts, but don't know Nuno's track record with youth. See, I don't know about it either. I think he has brought some players through, actually. I'm sure he likes players, hasn't he? Did he not bring Kilman through at Wolves?
He did, yeah. He gave him his first team debut from the youth team, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know, but then bearing in mind, it's not like he's got a load of options, has he? You know what I mean? If he doesn't want to play ward-prowse and he doesn't rate him, unless he's only really got Magassa, bearing in mind he's got no Souček at the moment, it's not like he's got a ton of options, has he? Maybe he will have to turn to Potts as well.
Yeah.
Or
we'll see Potts at some point. Even if he starts with Magassa, he hasn't played 90 minutes for a long time. So
true. Or as Darren's saying, Magassa and Kante. Kante's the other one, right? He's the other one that a lot of people are raving about.
Cool, yeah.
You've seen a bit of him as well, haven't you? You've watched him play, right?
Yeah, he's a rough diamond, but how to describe him? He's a bit like a Vieira type. He's got like long legs and he's like storms through, full of energy. But yeah, you can stay. He's a little bit of a rough diamond, but he's one for the future, definitely. He looks massive in the youth team. But that's why he excels so well there. When putting him in a Premier League team, I think he would struggle a little bit, but he's got to get used to it at some point.
Absolutely. I mean, hopefully you'll get an opportunity, and maybe if we get a few injuries, you do. I mean, I'd like to see what he's about. I've not seen him play, to be honest with you. I've only been reading the reports on him, and they do sound very promising, I must say.
Oh, he's great. He's like a box-to-box. He wins the ball, brings it forward, he scores. He's excellent. He's an excellent player.
I'll go with that, mate. Kat, hope you're well. Kat's going with Potsy as well.
You're right, Kat.
Yeah, hope you're feeling better, Kat. Hope you're feeling better.
She made my vlog the other day.
I saw it. Yeah, it's very good, mate. It's very good. Yeah. Even my cheeseburger made your vlog as well, didn't it? I noticed. Yeah, my 15 quid cheeseburger. Right, what's Husey saying? Great show as always. Got to say, the Moyes reasons in COVID and Lingard were the most enjoyable since being a fan. I think quick counter-attacking is the most exciting to watch. Hopefully Nuno can do the same. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I mean, I think that was the last time I actually enjoyed watching West Ham play. And it was good football. It was very, very good football during that COVID season, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the counter-attacking football we want. But that was my point earlier. There's a pattern with managers at clubs, and you have one season where teams aren't expecting that. And then the second season, they just stay off you a little bit.
They get used to it, don't they? They know they've got your card marked, and suddenly it's not going to work again. Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's Gary's lineup, right?
Here we go.
This is interesting. I don't know if he's on a wind-up here, right? He's going Fabianski in goal. He's got Diuk. I'm assuming you mean Diuk. He's got Doug. He's got Doug playing left back. Hillman, the licensed version. I'm not saying the magnificent Well, I have already. Right? Mavropanos. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Fernandes, Magassa, Bowen, Paqueta, Somerville, Fulcrook. Yeah, I mean, I think there seems to be a bit of a consensus here in terms of what we'll be playing in our forward line and in our midfield. Fabs is an interesting one. I mean, do you play Fabs?
Cool. It'd be tough to drop Areola, I think. But what happens if Areola gets injured? That's an interesting one. Does Hermansen come in the Nuno team, or does he go for Fabs?
That's a scary thought, isn't it? I mean, well, I would go for Fabs. No question about it. I just can't. I think I've seen enough of him. I've seen enough of Hermansen now. It sounds a bit tight, but I think he could end up being. I'm not going to say it. It's a little bit tight, actually. So Gary's basically dropping KWP for AWBs. He wants to reduce the losing mentality from the team. Yeah, it's a good shout. Although I don't think KWP's been doing that bad, to be fair to him. He hasn't, has he? He's actually been pretty decent. Yeah.
But Nuno will like Aaron Wan-Bissaka because he's turning over the ball quickly, isn't it, and moving forward. I wouldn't be too shocked if he's in that team. Put it that way. I think that stomach bug might clear up quite quickly.
It would be interesting, wouldn't it? It would be. That'd be really telling if that's the case. It would be. I did hear, and I don't know if you've heard this at all. I had some rumours that apparently Bowen outed Potter today, like after he'd been sacked, saying that tactically he wasn't on it. Like, I don't know how true that is, and it could be gossip. I can't imagine Bowen doing something like that. If I'm being honest, I don't think he's that type of character. But I did read that.
I don't think it's in his character. I did look it up earlier and see what you was talking about. You mentioned it to me earlier, but that's another interesting thing. How do you feel, Chris, about Bowen being captain? Because this could be a potential time that it could change.
Mate, I tell you, I don't know. I mean, who do you pick as captain if it's not Bowen? I mean, that's the question, isn't it? Really, it's not really a case of should Bowen be captain. I don't think he's captain material, and I've said that for a long time, but who else is going to be captain?
Yeah, that's the issue. I mean, maybe when he first got the armband, was there Alvarez probably was an option, but I mean, he wasn't that committed to the team, was he?
Souček was a possible option, right? But again, I know he's suspended anyway, but I don't know who else would be. Who's captain material in that team? I don't know. I don't know.
This is a reoccurring theme, isn't it? It's like, what other options have we got? It's the best of a bad lot.
Yeah, I know. So what's Mark Pendleton saying? Forest, this is interesting. So Forest had one of the worst stats at corners when Nuno came in. Eventually, they were barely giving away any chances, let alone goals. Yeah. Well, look, I hope that is going to be the case with him coming in at West Ham. I really do. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, you look at loads of Forest highlights from last season, and it was turnover from corners. They'd win the ball from a corner and break on teams. It just happened time and time again. So he obviously really focuses on defending corners. So,
well, he's going to need to, isn't he? I mean, he's going to bloody well need to. I mean, he really is. I think that's going to be his priority number one, isn't it? Making sure we stop conceding goals, stupid goals like this. But interesting, look, we've actually got Nuno in the chat this evening. I mean, look, seriously, unbelievable. So here we go. This is Nuno's lineup for tomorrow's game, right? You've heard it here first, right? So he's got Areola, Walker-Peters, Mavropanos, Kilman, Diouf, Potts, Fernandes, Bowen, Paqueta, Somerville. That is my lineup. That is literally my lineup. So thank you, Nuno. I appreciate that. I'm glad that you agree with me.
Cool. He's leaked the team early, isn't he? Can we get him on?
Yeah, we should try to get him on. Christ, there's so many chats here. You can't see all the chat, can you? It's just me that can see all the stuff. Right.
I need to sort that out. I'd enjoy looking through the chat.
I heard that he's not big on academy, but Forest didn't have many good academy to choose from. Yeah, it might be the case, but also let's not forget that Forest had a humongously big squad as well, didn't they? All those players that they signed. So to try and, kind of, I guess, integrate young players into that first 11 was going to probably be a bit of a tough one for Nuno, bearing in mind the size of his. It was a big squad, wasn't it? I mean, they signed so many players. They really did.
Well, they got fined and point deducted for it, didn't they? Didn't they get deducted 3 points or something when they overspent that season?
I know some. I can't quite remember, to be honest with you. I can't quite remember, but yeah, it was a little bit crazy, wasn't it? Here you go. Look, bit of credit for yourself, there, Martin. Your focus very good, Martin. There you go, mate. Keep doing it. Well, it weren't good as mine though, Martin. It weren't good as mine, but it was good.
No,
No, it was
not
better
many
than mine.
things are as good as yours.
No, it was better than mine, mate. It was better than mine. You had so much more of the protest, mate. You had so much more of the protest, and I think, yeah, I had a minute vlog, so you can't get much in a
No,
minute.
it works well. Yeah, no, that content works well as well. The quick content. I liked your vlog.
Yeah,
Good.
if you haven't seen Martin's vlog, go to Talking Hammers on TikTok and also onto YouTube as well. Some very good content on there. Very, very good content on there.
Thank you very much.
Claire, I might do this. I might actually do this tomorrow. Yeah, I might. I don't think I'm going to take my proper vlogging camera. I might just do it on my phone. It's a bit of a faff carrying it around. Yeah, did I promise? I don't remember making a promise on that though. Did I promise that, Martin?
Yeah, I think you did, didn't you?
Yeah, no, don't be honest. Did I actually promise that?
Yeah, I think you said you was going to do it at the away game. Yeah, I'm sure you did on one of the shows.
All right, maybe I will. I will do. I will do. Oh, do you know what, Claire? Just for you, I will do something. Chris Bush, I've watched Kante several times, and his son player against Brighton, he got an injury. Although he played on, he wasn't the same, and it completely changed the game. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I watched that game as well. That was a funny game. That was a game of two halves. It was 3-0 up after 25 minutes, then drew the game 3-3 at the end.
That's oh yeah. No, I actually I jumped on that. And I saw about the last 10 seconds of the game. I missed it all.
Right, yeah.
I think I put in the chat, I'm here for the winner, and then he blew the whistle. Here we go. Right, from Randy. Nuno's first win in charge of Forest 2 seasons ago was away to Newcastle when he won 3-1. So I hope for a similar performance against Everton on Nuno's first game. I hope so. I really hope so. And I'll tell you something, right? And I didn't realise this. Everton have not lost at their new ground yet.
Oh, we're experts at doing that to teams in their new ground. We've done it at Spurs, didn't we?
We've done it at Spurs. Did we not do it at Arsenal as well? Yeah, we have. We absolutely have. So I did look at that stat and I thought, I like the idea. That's something to go for, isn't it? To be the first team to beat Everton on the new ground.
Everton, I'm just sensing and reading comments that there's a few people unhappy with Moyes and they didn't like him resting all the players for that Carabao Cup. This game's suddenly become really important for Everton. I'm looking forward to it now. It's got a lot. It's a different game all of a sudden.
I feel like I am a bit as well now. I feel like, new manager bounce, hopefully. The injection of youth into our midfield, potentially with Potsy. That's what I hope anyway, at the very least. And no JWP. And also beating Everton on their new ground. That would be lovely, wouldn't it? That'd be really lovely. And I'll tell you what, on that note, because I don't want to go on forever, we've gone over an hour here. I'd love to get your predictions. And everyone in the chat, please give us your predictions. What do you reckon, Mike? What are you going for? What's your prediction for tomorrow?
I'm going to go a 1-0 win to West Ham.
Really? 1-0, eh? Oh,
I think we're set up defensively, and then Everton will be pushed on by their crowd, and Somerville and Bowen a break.
God, what am I going to go for? See, right. Here's my thing with predictions this season. Whenever I predict we win, we lose. Okay, and I do predict that we win a lot stupidly because I'm overly optimistic. So I'm not going to predict that we lose either, though. I'm not going to do that thinking that we'll win. I'm going to predict a draw, and I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. No, I'm going to go 2-2 because I still think we're going to be open to conceding goals. I'm going to go with 2-2. That's my prediction. What's everyone else saying? Right, let's have a look. I think I just saw Gary saying 3-1. So yeah, just nicking my scoreline again, Gary. Thank you for that. Mark Pendleton's going for 1-1. Trodge is going for 1-1.
We're due a new manager bounce, aren't we? We never seem to have that.
Yeah. I know we do, don't we? We really need that. Yeah, we haven't had that for frigging ages, have we, mate? We haven't.
No.
Chris will probably go 2-1 West Ham. Are you saying I'm going to go 2-1 West Ham, or are you saying that you're going for 2-1? What are you saying? Are you going for 2-1 or what? I just said I think I'm going for 2-2. I'm going for a Desmond. Stephen Russell's going for a draw, 1-1. Barney's going for 2-2. Harry's going. You saying 2-1 West Ham or 2-1 Everton? Hopefully it's West Ham. Cat's going for a respectable 1-1 draw. Oh, come on, there's a few losses here as well. Everton 2, West Ham 1. Okay, so he's saying 1-0 or 2-1 to West Ham. I'll go with that. I'll take that. I love this one. Iron Disciple is bang on it tonight. He's going for 3-0 West Ham. Go on, 3-0 West Ham. Loving the optimism. Andrew Hayden is going 3-1 West Ham as well. 3-1. Paul Flower, 1-1 draw. Okay, so there seems to be a lot of predictions for a win here. I think hopefully we're all looking at a new manager bounce. And your pub friend Darren, he's going for West Ham 4-1. 4-1. Wow. Jesus Christ! Wow, I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, I hope you're right, Darren.
Yeah. But look, I think I'm all done now, to be honest with you. But I'm just going to end this now by saying what I kind of said at the very beginning of this show, and that is about Nuno and the board. Let's get behind Nuno 110%. No matter what you feel about Nuno, whether you think he's the right appointment or the wrong appointment, we have to get behind him. He's the West Ham United manager now. We don't have a choice on this matter, right? We don't. We need to get behind him 110%, whilst at the same time, about 5 million% get that balled out, because all of this, every single negative thing that is going on at West Ham is all down to the board. And I'm not going to reel off a list because we'll end up doing another hour or 2 hour show here. Don't ease off on this one. Do not ease off on this one. We need to get those people out of our club ASAP. Sooner the better. Yeah, we never 100%. Had a choice on Nuno, but we get behind him. You know, we get behind him, and I know I will tomorrow. 100%, mate. And I'm going to go for, as I say, 2-2, but hopefully we can get a win tomorrow. I really do. But, any last words, Mike?
Yeah, just a quick reminder on the petition. Even if you think you've signed that petition, because I've got a few of my friends to redo it, and they realise they haven't. So when you sign in, like you'll see that as you sign in, it lets you in. It just won't let you do it if you've signed it before. You'll be surprised how many people haven't signed it and they think they have. So it's worth everyone just checking that. Yeah, I think I heard you say that someone needs to do a video on how you do it. I think I might try and do that in the next few days.
Yeah,
just so someone's got a visual sort of idea of how they do it, because it can be a little bit complicated. I don't know why they make it like that.
I think there's a thing around, because I've seen it. There's a thing around donating as well, and people are like, well, I have to pay and all this kind of stuff. No, you don't. You don't need to pay a penny to this. It's completely free, but you do need to verify it when you get the email sent back to you, right? So it's a couple of things, but it's pretty straightforward. But yeah, I get it. I think it is a little bit. I think a few people that may not necessarily be particularly tech savvy have not necessarily, kind of had their name put down on the petition as a result of that. So if you don't think you've done it, do it again. If you've got another email address, do it again. If you've got 2, 3, 4, 5 emails, do it 5 times around. Just keep doing it, because honestly, it's definitely going to help. And as Gary's pointed out, this is going to go in paper format to the board, right? So this is significantly important. It really is. And I think the one thing that we all want collectively as a fan base is get that balled out. We need to do everything we can to do this. We do. Let's get our club back. And in the meantime, support the gaffer who's now in charge, and support the boys. And hopefully we can get some decent results, and hopefully not be in too much of a precarious position, coming into the January transfer window. That's what I hope.
Yeah, no, we've got to get some points on the board now. It's tough. Every game looks tough, but we've got to stand a better chance than we did with Potter, because that was just spiraling out of control. That was.
Can't get any worse, mate. Dare I say it? It cannot get any worse. It can't. And I think under Nuno, the one thing that you can be sure is that he will shore up that defence. I think he will do that. And he has to. He has to. Really, really has to. But anyway, on that note, what more to say, really? Come on, you wines. Let's hope for a really good result and a good performance tomorrow. Let's get behind Nuno. And, no doubt we'll do a bit of a post-match thing as well, probably after the game. I don't know if I will, because I'm probably knackered. I'm not going to get back till about 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning.
Yeah, it's a bit late for me, that.
I know. I won't say do a post-match at 5 in the morning, mate. Jesus. No, even I'm not that mad, but I think Gary will probably be up knowing what Gary's like. But no, no doubt we'll do something in the coming days. But thank you, everyone in the chat. Much appreciated. Once again, if you could like the video, if you haven't subscribed to Bobby Moore Stand, please do so. Thank you very much. Come on, you irons, and see you very soon.